We're going on a little road trip today, taking the Cybertruck. We got 300 miles to go east. We're going to the cozy cabin. The direct route would be from here, basically to Butte, over Homestake Pass, and then turn down kind of southeast towards Yellowstone National Park. But we need a picnic table, and so we probably keep going after Homestake Pass on I-90 to Bozeman, pick up a picnic table there at Costco, and then head south on Highway 191 through West Yellowstone, over the pass there to Island Park, where the cozy cabin is located. We still got 15 minutes charging to go here, and it only charges at 24 amps max. So actually one of the two chargers in the Cybertruck failed, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. It will start it will charge at the DC fast charger, the Supercharger, just fine. That will not affect it at all. So this is kind of the plan here. You can see the route going from Missoula to Butte, have to charge in Butte, go to Bozeman. We'll have to charge there a little bit. There's a Costco, and then we'll go down south here to Island Park. So currently, and now this disappeared up here, it said, I did set, and you can do this if you scroll down, set arrival energy. I set that down to 5% from 15, since we can charge at the cozy cabin, so we don't need much left to spare to get there. 5% will get us to another level 2 charger if need be, but it won't get us to any supercharger, because the closest supercharger would be up here in West Yellowstone, and that wouldn't do with 5%. So now that said, so currently the trip is to Butte, 5-minute charge there, so we could make it to Belgrade supercharger. And when I lowered the arrival state of charge to 5%, it cut 5 minutes of charging off right there. Now that said, 5 minutes here will probably be longer, because Butte is about a 2-hour drive. So, well, that's time for a bathroom break, maybe a coffee or something anyway. So most likely this stop will automatically become a little bit longer, not because of charging, but because of us, which means this could be less right there. This distance here is much less than the first leg, so yeah, we don't necessarily want to sit there, but after 2 hours we would like to get out and stretch our legs anyway. Then here we'll cut this a little shorter, because this is a little longer. Then we go here to Costco, and then we'll make it to the cozy cabin. And since we're coming down from the top here, we could actually stop in West Yellowstone if we wanted to go do something, whatever, in West Yellowstone, or pick up something at the grocery store there or whatever, before we go to the cabin. And West Yellowstone does have a Tesla Supercharger, so we could charge there as well. So, and currently it says we would arrive with 36% in Butte. We'll see how that goes. It says now we're at 100%, so it's still 15 minutes remaining, which now that may be a little confusing, because we're at 100%. How can it still go 15 minutes? Well, it's pretty simple. This truck is now 2 years old, has, I think, 22,000 miles or 23,000 miles on it. I don't even remember. And I think we charged it once to 100%. Once we made it to 100%, maybe twice, I don't remember. Not many times anyway. So what it's doing right now is actually balancing the cells in the battery pack. So when you have this large, like we had 99%, and it showed like 30 minutes or 45 minutes even, I don't remember, a lot of time to 100%. That is because it starts balancing cells, and this is a pretty big battery. This is 123 kilowatt hours, so it will take some time to balance all those cells, but then all those cells will be balanced, and that will help the battery pack or the BMS to know where the 100% mark really is, and navigation or navigation basically becomes more accurate at that point. So it's important to once in a while charge to 100% on any EV, and then also drop it down as low as possible. That will let the BMS, the battery management system that controls this battery pack, the battery management system will then exactly know what the top is and what the bottom is, the full and empty basically. So, and that's kind of what we're kind of trying to do. So we got to the 100% this time. Obviously, according to the navigation, we'll get to Butte at 36. So maybe, and just maybe, we're actually able to make it to Belgrade or Bozeman. Well, the charger is in Belgrade, which I guess is a suburb of Bozeman. So maybe we can actually make it without stopping in Butte. Now that said, like as I mentioned, we probably need a bathroom break anyway. So, but it would be nice to bring it down to into the single digits. That's my preferred thing. I wouldn't mind coming in at 2-3% in Butte, but it's probably not possible. The battery pack's huge, the weather is nice, so we won't be using much. Like if this would be in the winter time, we would be using a lot of energy for heat. Would be a little different story. So yeah, but this should be a pretty uneventful trip. Done it many times. Yeah, there shouldn't really be any issues. The truck has FSD version 14, so guess what? Right here, and we're right here in the parking, and the driveway goes out down this way, and right here in front of the house I will enable FSD, and the truck will drive right from here all the way and park itself in Butte. It's fantastic. Also another thing you can see here on the dash, this black lookish thing, you probably know this, but it's usually white. We put some nylon over it so it doesn't reflect in the windshield. This is Starlink Mini, because out here where we're at right now at the house, there is no cell phone reception. For the next 6-7 miles there is no cell phone reception, and then every so often here in Montana, even on the interstate, there is no cell phone reception. Eventually, I don't know, on 191 it's gotten better going south from Bozeman. Usually we go a different way, and there's a long stretch without cell phone reception. But all that said, we got Starlink Mini, so we can always communicate with our cell phones. We can access the internet, and so yeah, it's never going to be an issue. That is the really cool thing about having a Starlink Mini. Well, at this point we gotta load up the last few things. It's not like we're taking much. The truck is, I would say, fairly empty for a truck. We don't have heavy weight. We got a headboard for a bed in the back, but that's about it. Some toilet paper, some paper towels and things to stock up at the cozy cabin. Really nothing major. So, but yeah, well, we'll load up the last few things and then get going. We're finally ready to get going. We got 2 hours 3 minutes 144 miles to go. We should get there at 37%, and we're going to be using full self-driving right there, and off we go right out of the driveway here, going to Butte. And so we'll see you, oops, it's a little bumpy here, we'll see you in 2 hours or so in Butte. I added a stop to it. We're going to Rods and Dogs Car Wash. We're still on full self-driving here, so the truck is driving, no hands on the wheel here, nothing on the pedals. So we're getting off, going to the car wash, and you probably, oops, can see on the windshield. Yeah, that's the reason. The truck is pretty dirty, and I can't even really record anything. And when I put the camera up here, I gotta mount, because yeah, the windshield is so dirty. So we decided to stop here real quick and go get the truck washed, and then hopefully the windshield is somewhat clean. Unfortunately, there is like this is tree sap, so that won't come off, and it's been on there, and I should have used the razor blade to remove it, but still haven't gotten around to it. And talking about around, we're going around the roundabout here, and the truck is driving, no hands on the wheel here. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, just fine, going around and around and around. Turn signal is set to exit here. Perfect. So yeah, go to the car wash and then continue the trip. Obviously adding the stop on will potentially lower our arrival state of charge in Butte. Initially it's at 37, so this will take probably 1 or 2% out of that, so we could expect about 35 or so. Alright, been through the car wash. You gotta drive it through the car wash. It doesn't do that on its own yet. And here we go, back in full self-driving. No hands on the wheel here. And we're going back to the interstate and are on our way to Butte. And as I expected, we got 35% now as arrival state of charge, so this extra little trip here going through the car wash brought it down a little bit. So well, now that we got a decent windshield, except for this thing here, I actually can record some of the scenery as we're driving to Butte, or as the Cybertruck is driving to Butte, back in full self-driving right here. So we'll see you in Butte. We're coming closer to Rocker, 4.7 miles, and here it shows 25% arrival. Well, I think the difference that we're lost about 10%. We were supposed to be here with 35%, But I think the issue is this here where it says Mad Max. I changed that from it was either in standard or hurry, which even in hurry it only goes about like it does right now, 78, 77, 78. But we're in traffic, that's why we're going slower here. But in Mad Max it does about 83 roughly continuous. And so the higher speed obviously ate away on the state of charge, the estimated arrival there. Also it did, and it doesn't do now, but we had the bar up here showing preconditioning for faster charging, so it was doing that. So now it must be up at the right temperature, so once we get into rocker we can plug in and it will go pretty fast. Yeah, but we'll be there. We're at 26 right now. Now we're going 85 on Mad Max. So on hurry it doesn't go up above 80. So this is what ate away on our percentage there. Well, 3 more minutes it says, and then we would be there in rocker. We'll stop real quick, go to the bathroom, and we don't do long, and then we'll keep going to Belgrade and maybe add a little bit there so we can make it to Costco and the cabin then. But yeah, overall smooth trip, nothing exciting, full self-driving, so no hands, no feet, nothing. Yeah, went smooth, no problem whatsoever. Could have been asleep the whole way, but well, obviously you can't. You gotta stay awake because the camera is up here watching you. Yeah, all right, 3 more minutes. It's pulling over here into the slower lane, I guess, and then we'll get off in rocker and get some charge. We're here already plugged in and see, all right, there we go. 89 kilowatt is a bit low. 7 minutes remaining to continue trip. Yeah, it takes longer to go to the bathroom. Okay, it's ramping up slowly. We got in with 25%. So yeah, made it here, no problem. We'll go to the bathroom. The 7 minutes are up before we get back, probably. There's a Rivian over here. Some Teslas over this way. We'll just get a little charge and off we go. Okay, now it's coming up there. It's going up slowly, I think, but now we're at least at 200 there. It should hit about 257 probably. Come on, a little more, because we should max out this charger. There we go, 258. We're maxed out now. That's about all we can get out of a 250 kilowatt charger. So we're doing good. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. We ran in there to the bathrooms, came back quick, and already it says enough charge to continue trip. Let's hit okay. Okay, it says an hour to charge limit. That is not quite true, because the charge limit I think is still set to 100%. I would assume. Yep. Yep, it's still all the way up there, so it would take way longer than that. We're at 46% now. It is going still at above 150 kilowatts there, so not too bad. Decent speed. That's what we're looking for. Fast speeds. Now we will go to Belgrade. That is just let's bring this up here. Let's bring this, it's a little, there we go, Belgrade, which is before Bozeman. So there's Belgrade, there's Bozeman, and then we got to go down that way. Oops. So Belgrade, Bozeman, and then oops, up there, that was the cabin. So we got a ways to go, and currently it estimates 15% arrival, so that is plenty in Belgrade. And then we'll see. Let's see here, it says a 20-minute charge right now in Belgrade, and obviously the longer we go here, the shorter that stop will be. But currently it's only 11:47. It's kind of lunchtime, but not really, so we might as well unplug here and get going, do that hour and 10-minute drive, 77 miles to Belgrade. And since we'll be in Mad Max mode, maybe it doesn't even take an hour to get there. We'll see. We gotta climb Bozeman, or whatever it's called, pass there before Bozeman, so climb over that. That was a little curvy and stuff. And so speed is dropping. Let's shade that there. Under 44 kilowatt, we're dropping slowly. Maybe let it go a little bit longer, taking advantage of the highest possible speeds for as long as possible, because that definitely helps here with Belgrade, because Belgrade will slow down, obviously, probably more than this right here, the longer we charge there. So we'll see here, go down to about 130 kilowatts, then unplug and get going. It just dropped below, and it seems to drop in quickly now. It got 2 minutes of charging off here in Belgrade, which is not very much, but I think we'll unplug because we'll get to Belgrade at 24%. So let's unplug. All right, final tally, 58%. We should get to Belgrade with 24 in about an hour and 10 minutes. average in Belgrade with 23%. This time we're much closer. It's at 24 for a long time, and then it started preconditioning. That's when it dropped to 23 as an estimate. So, and currently we gotta go Costco. It says we will get there with 19%, but from Costco we gotta keep going all the way down to Island Park, so we need a bit more here to actually continue the trip. So at this point we just need to plug in. Oops, and the truck parked itself, but we're missing about 6 inches. So this sucks with these chargers here. The cord's so short, even though these chargers in this particular spot are actually set over this way a little bit compared to the parking spot. They're not exactly in the middle, but basically they should be on this side, because every Tesla has the charge port on the left side, which is the right side. This is how this looks in the backup camera when you are close enough. I mean, it looks like the top is hitting the truck almost. Well, it's just because of the height of the camera, but yeah, you got to be super close for charging in cases like this one here. Now this is how it looks back here, and now we should be close enough, hopefully. There we go. Yep, we got enough. We got even a little bit of slack, so not too bad. But yeah, you got to be super close with the Cybertruck. The charge port compared to the very back of the car is relatively far forward. Usually the charge port's back here on all the other cars, right? So it's much easier to reach. It tells us 20 minutes remaining to continue the trip, so we could make it all the way down to Island Park. That said, there is the option, as we're going down Highway 191, so I'm familiar with this trip because we've done it so many times for over a decade. There is a Tesla Supercharger in a Big Sky, which is maybe not halfway down, but at least 1/3 down from between Bozeman and West Yellowstone. And so we could go and charge in Big Sky. It's a little detour. You got to come off the main road and go up to Big Sky. I don't remember. I think it's probably 4 miles up, so it's like an 8-mile detour to charge there. Also, the other option would be charging in West Yellowstone, which is really close to Island Park. That is only about another 25 miles maybe from our destination, but we could charge there instead of going all the way to Island Park. So we got a few options here at this point. Now, so yeah, we got 20 minutes remaining. We are at a decent stop here, those town pumps. These truck stops, they're pretty cool. They got a lot of stuff. They got a decent store. They got a casino, so you can go lose some money while you're charging. That is not bad, but overall there is really nothing else around here. So unless you want truck stop food, yeah, it kind of sucks in a way. It would be nicer at the other charger in Bozeman, which is not too far from here, just a few miles. The problem there is, as you can see here, let me put a little shade on it there, we're getting 253 kilowatts right now. So this is a version 3 supercharger putting out 250, while the other one in town is a version 2 putting out 150. So it will take longer to charge there, but there are a few options to walk to when it comes to restaurants or shopping and so on and so forth. But well, we definitely want to take advantage of the 250. We could then still decide to go to the other charger if we wanted to, once this here drops below about 130 again, because once we're below 130 we might as well charge at a version 2 because it can do 150. So we'll see. 20 minutes are not too long, so we might just walk through the store, just look around a little bit, and then get going again here soon. But yeah, this stop here kind of takes a little bit time. We did a short stop in Butte. We could have made the one in Butte longer, then this one would be shorter. So it's all kinds of options. We could change the navigation and say to stop in Big Sky, or we could change the navigation to stop in West Yellowstone, and then that would shorten this charging stop here. But obviously, like I said, Big Sky would be a detour. Takes probably more than 20 minutes between charging and the detour. West Yellowstone is really close to where we're going, so it's only a few minutes that we would save. So yeah, it's probably not even worth trying to fiddle around here. I think we just let it go with the 20 minutes and just sit here, do something. There's always something to do. We're already beyond having enough charge to continue. Actually, I got a notification about 8 minutes ago. So much for 20 minutes being a long stay here. But I was able to get rid of like this tree sap and some other tree sap in other places. I found one of those here in the store. It's not the highest quality, but it was $4, and it had a blade in it, and came with some spare blades, and these blades always come in handy anyway. So yeah, we're ready to go. It says 40 minutes to charge limit. That would be full. It's a long time. We're already at 74% right now. So I think we'll go on to Costco, and then here in Bozeman, or I think it's actually Four Corners, there is a place called Best Burger, and that is pretty dang true. They got really great burgers there, so we might stop in there. At this point, it's basically time to unplug and get going. Final tally, 76%. We're unplugged, off to Costco. Only about 9 minutes, about 8 miles. Should get there with 71%. Wow, that sounds like a lot of use just for 8 miles, but whatever. Well, let's hit full self-driving there. There we go. Now there's walking someone in front of us. All right, and now the truck goes off, and oh, look what it does. It goes the wrong direction. That is interesting. I'm wondering what the heck it does. Well, I guess we're going for a ride around the truck stop here. While our truck is looking for the exit. It is interesting. So you can see on the map here, it's going all the way around. It keeps going and going. Just for fun, we'll keep going, I guess, and see where it goes. Obviously, if I really wanted to, I could take over and start going the right direction. Now it's slowing down and thinks it can get out here. Oh yeah, now it's going off into the... Uh-oh, now I figured out I can't go there. Okay, we're backing up. This is fun. Yeah, those are some of the things where it maybe should be able to look at the map a little closer than it really does. Okay, now we're turning in front of the building here. We're not going all the way back to the Supercharger. And at this point, we're basically heading for the exit right there. So we're on the right path. Yep, so yeah, this happens when a parking lot isn't mapped or anything. There's many parking lots that are actually mapped, but this one isn't. So then that's what they call dogging around. So we're just dogging around until the damn dog finds the exit. And here we are. So off we go to Costco. 24%. We arrived at the Connie's restaurant, sorry. Yep, it estimated we would be here with 24 or 25%. That was the initial estimate to get to the cozy cabin. So we're about 10 minutes from the cozy cabin. It actually says here 7.8 miles, and we will get there with 21% now. So that means we lost about an additional 3 or 4%. And that is because now it's not the navigation. I messed it up again for the navigation. Let me show you. This is it right here, this box sticking out. This is what we picked up at Costco in Bozeman, and that messes it up. This messes up the aerodynamics, and the Cybertrucks are very sensitive to aerodynamics. There's actually a video I have where I have a refrigerator and a barbecue in here, and I'm also going from home to the cozy cabin, so you might want to go watch that. But yeah, at this point we're going here, have some food, and then we're going to the cabin, and then we'll see what we do from there. I mean, we gotta do some stuff at the cabin anyway, but yeah, overall the trip so far has been pretty smooth. FSD has been driving, so all is good. 21%. We are at the cozy cabin. There we go. So we made it, no problem. Had a bite to eat already. And well, we're here. Now we got to plug in here. We got a charger here, so we can plug in, even though we can only charge at 24 amps since one of the 2 chargers in the Cybertruck is obviously not working, which is fine. We got plenty of time anyway, and we only need enough to actually get to West in case we needed to charge. There's a supercharger there. Actually, the 21% would get us there, so in case the second charger in the truck would fail or whatever. So yeah, you could see this trip overall, yeah, it's easy to travel with the Cybertruck. It's not a problem, even when the navigation is sometimes a little bit off. You know, just go and have a few extra percent, then you're definitely safe. And as you've seen in the beginning, I set it down to 5% of the arrival here, so I don't really care. There are level 2 chargers around in many places that you could take advantage of. Yes, it takes a little longer, so you may have to spend an hour somewhere or whatever, but it is all possible. Now, you may have noticed on this trip I haven't shown you all the stats, because it's just to show that you can travel. You don't need to know too much. You just use your navigation. It's not science. Pretty much anyone can do. We can look at a few stats real quick here. So from the restaurant to here, it was 8 miles, and we averaged 363.5 watt hours per mile. That is super low. Why is it so low? Well, there is 45 and 55 stretches on that 8 mile, so or 55, 65 miles, 45 and 65 mile stretches. And yeah, if you stay below 65, wow, you go way farther than if you're going 85, right? Now let's look at since last charge. It was 131 miles, and we averaged 463.4 watt hours per mile. So that is 100 watt hours per mile more. Well, because we've been going a little faster. The last charge was in Belgrade, and then we came down Highway 191, so there's 70 most of the time. Actually, through the park it's 55, then it's 70 again, and coming over here I think it's 70 or 75. So again, overall speeds were not 85, so we were lower, so we do better. Now let's look at our lifetime here. This is our lifetime, 535 watt hours per mile. This is a bit high, isn't it? Well, that is because we tow a lot with this truck. Actually, I had to unhook the trailer last night in order to prepare for traveling today. So yeah, if you tow a lot, obviously this will affect the fuel mileage, if you want to call it that. I mean, electricity is a fuel. But you can see on shorter, or actually on lower speed traveling, you're doing really good. So we're close to Yellowstone National Park. The speed limit, I think, is 45 is the max in Yellowstone. So if you travel around Yellowstone, you will have that 363 there all day long, and you will go, I don't know, endless miles with this thing here. So that said, if you're in Montana on the interstate and you're going 80, speed limit's 80, you're going 80, 85, you ain't going that far. You're doing 150 to 200 miles, depending on what time of the year it is. But it all comes down to learning your vehicle. You know, just like you get a new gas car, you have to learn about it and figure out how far it goes. So it's really not that different when you get an EV. You just got to learn your vehicle. But yeah, overall with the navigation, we've been pretty good, almost right on. Just make sure, unlike me, maybe have the settings correct, like for FSD. I think I had it in standard or hurry, and then went to Mad Max. So and from hurry going about 77, 78 to Mad Max to which goes about 83 to 85 on the interstate. That's quite a big difference. So the slower you go, the farther you go, so you can always increase distance. If you feel like you don't have enough to spare, go a little bit slower at that point. But yeah, super easy to travel with a Cybertruck here. Again, nothing to worry about. In many places there are way more chargers available than we have here. So here in Montana, well, there is a few chargers and it's far in between. If you're many other places, you can skip chargers. If you're traveling Interstate 15, we can skip chargers. Interstate 5 along the west coast, you can skip chargers. And then I don't know which interstate goes down at the east coast, like from New York to Florida. I don't even know. Maybe leave a comment down below and tell me which one it is. But yeah, I'm sure you can skip chargers there too. So, well, we gotta get unloaded and get things ready here, and then in a couple days we'll drive back home. Well, make sure to give us a thumbs up for this video. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our new videos. And we don't have just Cybertruck videos. We got Chevy Bolt, we got Tesla Model 3, we got a 2013 Tesla Model S with over 200,000 miles. We got all kinds of different interesting EV videos, lots of road trips where you can actually see real life with an EV. So that is the important part for our channel. We show you mostly all of it is real life. Every so often we bring a more educational for other educational stuff, but we show a lot of road trips where I give a lot of tips for traveling with an EV as well. And you can see what I do, like in this trip where I showed you what I changed or what you could do and so on and so forth. Also, we have a bunch of links down below in the description for places where we get accessories from, so feel free to use those links, use the discount codes, and get yourself some accessories. All right, well, that is about it for today. I guess it's a beautiful day. We got lucky, we didn't hit any rain whatsoever, and well, but now I gotta get to work, really. Well, in any event, thank you for watching. Goodbye.